3D Hello Kitty Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. So I'm going to start by forming my nail bed, and I'm using a sheer pink acrylic for this, and I'm going to want my smile line to come to a point that matches the almond shape of the nail, so it parallels that just like so. And make sure you fade that towards the cuticle so it doesn't get too thick. And if you decide to file your smile line, definitely go ahead and do that to make sure it is nice and smooth and exactly the shape you want and even from side to side. I thought mine was good, so I decided to skip that step. So now using small beads and fairly stiff beads of white acrylic, I'm going to be adding polka dots down the nail, and so I am just placing these against the nail tip. And if you were sculpting this nail from the start with a nail form, you'd have wanted to create a clear tip already on the nail to place these white beads on top of, and you don't just want to throw those on the nail form. You'd want to create a nail to start with. And then fill those in all the way up the sides. And now I'm going to be encapsulating the entire nail with a layer of clear acrylic, and you're going to want to make sure that you press the clear in and around all of those white polka dots we created so that there's no air bubbles, because those will definitely show in the end, and air bubbles, you don't want air bubbles. So just make sure that you really press that acrylic in so that there's no surprises later on. So now you're going to want to file the tip so that it is nice and smooth. And if you file through the clear and you file until you have the white exposed, that's just fine. It's not gonna be any problem whatsoever. And then buff the nail just to remove any scratches that other file may have left. So now I'm going to be using white paint, and I'm going to be painting Hello Kitty's arms, neck, and feet. So I'm going to start with her arms. And as you can see, this shows up pretty well because white paint is going to be a brighter shade of white than white acrylic is. So you can really see this against the background. If that was a concern, you can see it just fine. So I'm going to be filling in her dress with pink. And I was not patient enough to let my white arms and stuff dry, so a little bit of that is blending in with the pink of her dress, but that's okay. Fixed it later. So now with black, I'm going to be doing outlining, and any of those funny little mishaps that I had with the wet paint are going to go away in this part. When you're outlining, all of your lines will be nice and crisp after this. I am now going to be applying a layer of gel sealer and then curing that in my lamp. And for me, it is 2 minutes in a UV lamp. With white acrylic, I'm now going to be sculpting Hello Kitty's head. So I'm going to start with a wide oval right on top of that image that we just painted, just like so, and then adding her ears with a smaller detail brush. So now with a very small bead of yellow, I'm going to be sculpting her nose. So then add 2 tiny beads of black for her eyes, and since her eyes really are so very tiny, if you wanted to do that with either like a gel paint or acrylic paint instead of using the acrylic, that would probably be a lot easier and not very noticeable. So with light pink acrylic, I'm going to be sculpting her bow across one ear. And if you wanted to use an acrylic that was, mine's kind of a sheer glittery acrylic, so it doesn't show up as much as you may want it to, but I thought the little bit of glitter was cute, so it's up to you, whatever you think. And now I'm going to be adding some details with black paint, and I'm going to start with her whiskers and paint those along the sides of her face. She's got 3 whiskers, and they're about at the same height as her eyes are. And then I'm going to outline her nose, and then do some outlining around her face. and I apparently missed part of the outlining, and I apologize. So now I'm going to be gluing some half pearls that are pink along the smile line on the side where it's visible. And so I'm just taking I'm using gel sealer, and then I cured that, and I'm going to be adding more gel sealer over the top of Hello Kitty, focusing on where I used acrylic paint. And that is it. I hope you like this design. Please share any recreations with me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I would really love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!